Hey everyone, welcome to How to Tell Stories in English Like a Native. I'm so excited to dive into this topic today because honestly, storytelling is such a crucial skill for truly connecting with people.
Indeed. And it's not just about telling epic tales, is it? Even in everyday conversations, being able to share a clear, engaging anecdote makes a huge difference. It helps you sound much more natural and fluent, rather than just reciting facts.
Absolutely. Think about it. When you meet someone new or you're just chatting with friends, sharing personal stories or funny experiences is how you build rapport. Mastering this in English can really elevate your communication from good to great.
Exactly. It moves beyond basic grammar and vocabulary into a more dynamic and culturally rich way of interacting. We'll be exploring how to craft those stories effectively, helping you capture your audience's attention and leave a lasting impression.
All right, so now that we're all excited about telling stories, let's talk about the foundation, the basic structure that makes any good story compelling. It doesn't matter if it's a grand adventure or just something that happened to you this morning. Every good story needs a clear beginning, a middle, and an end.
Precisely. Think of it as a journey for your listener. The beginning is where you set the scene. You introduce who is involved, where and when it's happening, and what the initial situation is. It's about giving enough context for your audience to understand what's about to unfold.
And then comes the middle, which is often the longest part, right? This is where all the action and development happens. You introduce the main event or problem, the conflict, the challenges. This is where you really build a narrative leading up to the most exciting part.
Indeed. And finally, the end. This is where you resolve the conflict, conclude the events, and perhaps share the outcome or the lesson learned. It provides closure and ensures your listener feels satisfied. Keeping these three parts in mind will truly help structure your thoughts and make your stories much clearer.
Okay, so we've got our story structure down, but how do we make sure people actually want to listen to the whole thing? How do we grab them from the start?
That's an excellent point. The opening, or the hook as we often call it, is absolutely crucial. You need to capture your audience's attention in those very first few seconds.
Totally. One fantastic way is to start with a question. For example, you could say, have you ever experienced one of those moments where time just seems to stand still?
Precisely. That invites the listener to immediately engage and think about their own experiences. Another powerful technique is to open with a surprising fact or an intriguing statement.
Oh, like, you won't believe what happened to me last Tuesday. Or, I once witnessed something so bizarre, it changed my perspective on everything. It just makes you want to know more, doesn't it?
It does. The key is to create instant curiosity, giving them just enough information to pique their interest without giving the whole game away. Keep them wanting to hear the rest.
Now that we've got our audience hooked, the next crucial step is actually telling the story. And for that, we need to master our past tenses. They're the backbone of any good narration.
Absolutely. For intermediate learners, it's vital to use the simple past for completed actions, like I went or she saw. Then the past continuous comes in for ongoing actions in the past, setting the scene, like I was walking when I suddenly heard a noise.
Right. And don't forget the past perfect for actions that happened before another past event. So I had already left when he called. It helps clarify the sequence of events and makes your story flow so much more naturally. Practice mixing them up.
Precisely. And to truly bring your narrative to life, we must incorporate sensory details. Don't just tell us what happened, make us experience it. What did you see, hear, smell, taste, or feel?
Yes, instead of saying it was a dark street, try the flickering street lamp barely illuminated the slick, wet pavement. Or rather than the food was delicious, you could say the rich scent of basil and tomato filled the air, and the pasta felt perfectly al dente on my tongue.
Excellent points. These vivid descriptions paint a picture in the listener's mind. They create an immersive experience, making your story unforgettable and much more engaging for a native speaker to listen to. It's about showing, not just telling.
So, we've painted vivid pictures with our words, but how do we keep our listeners on the edge of their seats? It's all about building suspense.
Precisely. A great way to build tension is to hint at what's coming without giving it away entirely. You might use phrases like, I had no idea then, but my day was about to take a dramatic turn. Or, little did I know, this seemingly innocent conversation would change everything.
Ooh, I love that. It instantly makes you want to know what happens next. You can also describe the atmosphere changing, like the air grew cold or a strange silence fell over the room. It really creates that feeling of anticipation.
Indeed. And to truly bring your story to life, particularly the interactions between characters, we need to talk about direct speech. Instead of saying, he told me he was leaving, try, he looked me straight in the eye and declared, I'm leaving. It's much more impactful.
Absolutely. Direct speech makes your characters real. You hear their voice, you feel their emotion. And remember to use different verbs. Instead of always he said, she said, try he whispered, she exclaimed, he mumbled. It adds so much nuance.
Exactly. It's about letting your audience hear the conversation as if they were there, rather than just being told about it. It creates immediacy and draws them further into your narrative, making the story feel much more alive.
Okay, so we've built the story, added the details, kept everyone on the edge of their seats. Now, how do we wrap it up with a bang? The punchline or a memorable ending is crucial.
Indeed, a strong ending leaves a lasting impression. It's often about a twist, a clever resolution, or a humorous remark that ties everything together, often unexpectedly. Timing is absolutely key here. You want to deliver it with confidence.
Right, and to truly master this, we want to encourage all of you listening to start practicing. Think of a short, personal anecdote, maybe something funny or surprising that happened to you.
Precisely. Use all the techniques we've discussed. Craft a compelling hook, narrate in the past tense, weave in some sensory details, build a little suspense, include some direct speech, and then, most importantly, deliver that impactful punchline or satisfying conclusion.
Start small, share with a friend, or even just record yourself. The more you do it, the more natural it'll feel. So, to quickly recap, remember to structure your stories with a clear beginning, middle, and end. Hook your audience early. Use those past tenses correctly and paint vivid pictures with sensory details.
Absolutely. And don't forget to build suspense, bring your characters to life with direct speech, and aim for a memorable punchline. The key is consistent practice. Start with those short anecdotes.
Exactly. The more you tell stories, the more natural and confident you'll become. Keep practicing, and you'll be telling stories like a native in no time.
Thank you so much for joining us on how to tell stories in English like a native. We hope you found today's episode helpful.
We'll catch you next time. Bye for now.
Goodbye, everyone.